Trish, and today we're going to be making some gluten-free banana bread. I had a bunch of old bananas, so I decided I should use them up, and this is what you want them to look like. They need to look pretty yucky, and the yuckier the better, because that makes them sweeter and it makes it easier for you to smash them up for your bread, which I have done here. So the first thing we're going to do is take 3/4 cup of white rice flour, which is here. And I keep my flours in little containers. And one thing about cooking with gluten-free, you have to have a lot of different flours to get them to all stick together. Okay, so now we have 3/4 cup of the white rice flour. We're going to take 1/3 cup of nuts, which are over here, ground nuts. And these are walnuts. And I use my chopper to grind those up. So put those in. And then we're going to take 1 cup of gluten-free all-purpose flour, which is right here. And it has garbanzo beans, fava beans, potato starch, white flour, or white rice flour, sorghum flour, tapioca, fava bean flour. So we're going to take a cup of that. And there we go. Next, we're going to add 1/4 cup of the brown rice flour, which is here. Put that in. And then we're going to add 3 teaspoons of baking powder, which I have here, and it's already measured out. And actually 3 teaspoons equal 1 tablespoon, so you can just go ahead and measure out 1 tablespoon. There we go. And as you can see, we're putting all dry ingredients in first. Next, we're going to put 1/4 cup of cornstarch, and that's right here. And I have to find 1/4 of the cup here. There it is. Now this is just basic cornstarch, but you want to get the one that's gluten-free. There can be gluten in cornstarch, so get the gluten-free one. Okay, now next we're going to use some xanthan gum. Xanthan gum is a product that helps keep everything together, similar to yeast. I bought this at the health food store, and it cost $9.19, but it will last you for maybe a month or two, depending on how much you're baking. So we're going to go ahead and put the xanthan gum in, which is 2 teaspoons. I have that measured out here. Put that in. And then next we're going to just go ahead and stir this up real good. And then we're going to go ahead and start with our wet ingredients, which we're going to put in this smaller bowl. And first of all, we're going to go ahead and put 1 1/2 cups of smashed up bananas, which I smashed up. You want to use a fork to do that. Get them smashed up real good, and then either use a spoon or your fork to get them out, and just get them in your dish. And it looks like I have banana that needs squished up some more, so I'm going to squish it up some more here. And believe it or not, this is really good stuff. Even my son likes it, and you know, little kids sometimes don't like things that are healthy. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and add our applesauce, which is 1/3 cup. And then we're going to go ahead and add some agave nectar sweetener. Now this is a sweetener that you can use that's all natural, and it's not like white sugar, but it comes from also the tequila plant, which is grown in Mexico. And they make tequila with it, but in this case we're just going to make banana bread. And if you're diabetic, you're also able to metabolize this without any problems. So I'm going to put that in. Okay, now we're going to add 2 eggs. As you can see, these are brown eggs. It doesn't really matter what color the egg is. The egg color has to do with what type of chicken laid the egg, that's all. So brown or white egg doesn't make a difference. It's both healthy. Put those in, and we're going to stir that up. Start with a little well in the middle there and just start stirring around. And as you can tell, it takes a lot of ingredients to make gluten-free bread. Alright, now let's see. We still need to put some vanilla in. And that's going to be 2 teaspoons. 1, 2. There, I got that. And then we also need to put some lemon juice, which I have down as 3 tablespoons. And a tablespoon here. Now you don't have to use fancy measuring spoons. You can just use a tablespoon like that you use for your cereal. And then for teaspoon, just a regular teaspoon. There we go. Alright, now we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. That's unrefined sea salt. Throw that in. Stir it up. A little bit of time here. Okay, now we've got our wet ingredients. We're going to add them to the dry, and before we do that, we're just going to go through, make sure that we've put everything in our recipe. That's one thing you want to train yourself to do, that way you don't mess up. We use lemon juice, we've used our vanilla, we've used baking powder, cornstarch, xanthan, ground walnuts, gluten-free all-purpose flour, brown rice flour, white rice flour, agave, and sea salt. Yes, check. 15 items, over and out. So we're going to go ahead and put this in here. Wet until it's dry. And we're going to stir it up. And in this case, I have a bowl here with a good handle on it, which is fine to use a plastic bowl because we don't really have grease that's going to adhere to your bowl like some bowls will, depending on what you're making with greasy items. So you want to stir this up, just maybe give it about 30 or 40 stirs, and that's it. You don't want to use a mixer on it. Gluten-free flour is a lot lighter than wheat flours. Okay, so we have that all stirred up. You're going to take some nonstick spray, spray your dish real well. And you want to use about a 9 by 5 loaf pan. Let's see. And then go ahead and put that in. Stuff is really sticky. It's kind of weird to work with when you first start, but don't worry, things will get better. And you'll get used to it. Now the trick is to make it look pretty. So we're going to try to smooth it out here the best we can. And we're just about done with this process. And there we go. Now we're just going to bake this uncovered in the oven. Go over here, turn the oven on at 350 degrees, and we're going to bake for 55 to 60 minutes. Now, what we will have when we finish is our loaf of yummy gluten-free banana bread. So enjoy.